you as a journalist need to decide and need to choose something that is best for the wide interest of all sections of people across your readership scale. Choose news, facts and stories which are of prominence, which are of significance to your general audience. So as journalists, this is one way of getting the attention of the audience is by reporting something odd. Hello everyone and welcome to your first session of journalism in the third semester. I am Zubin Paul, your faculty of journalism at Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Today we are going to be dealing with two very important concepts, the first session of your third semester in your subject, that is reporting. We are going to be dealing with two important concepts this session, and that is going to be the concept of news, and we're going to be dealing with the elements of news. So first of all, we'll deal with what is news. News is factual information about current events. Now when people meet each other, they are like, what's new, what is new, what is new, and what's the news today? So basically when they are talking about this fact, they will always be referring to something that is very current. Some factual information that is very, very current in nature. When you talk about current, it usually refers to the present. So it deals with current events. Next, news is a development that has happened in the recent past, which was not known before and which is of wide interest to the people. Look at the keywords here. It is a development that has happened in the recent past. Now you can talk about this as the present or recent past. For example, in newspapers, in TV channels, they will not show news which has happened 10 days or 15 days ago. They will be focusing on stories that have happened just yesterday. Or if they are showing news in the evening, they'll be focusing on stories that have happened in the morning. And newspapers, typically they focus on news that has happened till at least late evening the previous day. So that is how we refer to as recent past. News focuses on the recent past, which was not known before. Of course, if you know it before, why will you even want to know further about it? And which is of a wide interest to the people. This is where the concept of news becomes interesting, because you as a journalist need to decide and need to choose something that is best for the wide interest of all sections of people across your readership scale, because that is whom you're focusing on. Typically in a newspaper or a news organization, there won't be a niche of sort. They will always cater to a huge audience, a wide audience. So that is why this becomes of importance here. So that is news for you. Next, let us jump to the elements of news. There are a few elements when we talk about news, something that defines it to be news. So if these points are there, that is what makes it as a news. That is what makes it credible as news. So we'll be dealing with a few points for the day. And also I must be telling you that these points are very, very generic, are very core points for you to understand and become a very good journalist, because you will be forever dealing with news as your main focus. So the first point when it comes to the elements of news is immediacy. What is immediacy? What do you mean by immediacy? You must focus on timeliness of the issue. The word timeliness is the key word here. Timeliness of the issue. Fresh news is always more valuable. Now, as I mentioned just in the previous slide, that the immediacy of the news is very important in terms of it being fresh, in terms of it being not known before, because people always look for fresh stuff. People always look for fresh news. Even in terms of food items, when they go to a place, they ask, what is fresh? Give me what is fresh. So even in news, people always want to consume what is fresh. People are always looking out for new events. They don't care about what has happened. They want to know about what may happen or what is happening. That is most important to the people, and as a journalist, it is your responsibility to inform them of what is happening at the present moment. Now, What are a few examples? Breaking news. You must have seen this a million times on TV. Breaking news, breaking news. That is only because the people in the organization want to get your attention to something that is new, something that is fresh. And then also there is news of the day. By the time you go home in the evening or any other part of the day, there will always be a segment called news of the day. People will say news in 60 seconds. What happened today in 60 seconds? We will present it to you. That is basically because people are interested of what has happened in the recent past, not what has happened years ago. So those are a few examples of immediacy. The next point is proximity. Very important point. You need to inform people about issues that are close to them. What do you mean by close? Let us get to know. Close to them in terms of either geographical area or keen interest. What do you mean by geographical area? For example, let us take an example. Something that is happening around you. You will be more interested about that because that may or may not affect your own existence in that particular area. Just a small example. Second is keen interest. Suppose someone is interested in sports, someone is interested in certain cultural activity, someone is interested in certain comedy shows. You know, I want to go and watch this, when is this going to happen, etc., etc. So the proximity in that term is how closely you are attached with a certain issue or with a certain topic or with a certain event that may happen. So covering issues with good proximity makes the organization favorable to the public. Just think with very basic common sense. If you are given news that you are attached to, basically what will happen is you will start liking that particular newspaper or news channel, etc., etc., because they are catering to your taste of content in terms of news, in terms of whatever it may be. So that is the basic human nature, and that is what is being covered in this term called proximity. Let us take a few examples. For example, for Mysoreans, clean Chamundi Hill, Dasara festivities. What do I mean by this? For Mysoreans especially, Chamundi Hill is a very, very big matter and it's very close to the heart of every Mysorean. So that is one issue which is close to people living in Mysore. Now, when it comes to clean Chamundi Hill campaigns, whenever people go to clean Chamundi Hill or something related to Chamundi Hill, that is when people are invigorated, that is when people get that pump to do things, and that is what makes it different. So, news organizations who are based in Mysore and in and around Mysore, who cater to the audience in Mysore, the readers in Mysore, are always trying to focus on what happens in and around Chamundi Hills. And also, when talking about Dasara festivities, Mysore lights up when the time of Dasara comes. So that is how these news organizations, newspaper constantly focus on Dasara festivities. Because that is what people want to know about. They know the crux of what people's taste is at that particular time. What is close to them? What is their keen interest? Both these examples are a good merge of both of these kind of interests. Geographical area also is a key factor here because it is catering to Mysoreans. The second point is Mysoreans are also interested in what happens with Chamundi Hill and what happens during Dasara. So hope you are clear with these examples, and this proximity is again a very, very important point. Let us move forward to the next one. Prominence. Let's see what prominence means. Identify and focus on the significance of the issue in the current scenario. Let us see further. Prioritize news wherein it has some weightage in the minds of the public. Right? This is very, very important, and as a news organization, you have a major responsibility of being able to choose news, facts and stories which are of prominence, which are of significance to your general audience. That is why you have to prioritize news wherein it has some weightage in the minds of the public. Prominence can also be given to issues in which the public needs to be informed, There are certain issues wherein the public will want to know more and more and more. For example, there are hot topics and debates that happen regarding such issues. You will know a lot of issues nowadays that are happening. And these are very, very crucial for the audience to get a clear picture of what is happening, maybe within the state, maybe within the country. So every citizen generally has to be informed of these things, and that kind of responsibility is there on a journalist to fixate on what is prominent. What do you feel that the audience needs to know in order to be more informed, in order to be a functional citizen in the country? Functional citizen in the sense, a person who is mostly responsive to things that happen. People who are, who have an opinion, people who can think what is right and wrong. So only if you get to know a complete picture of everything, only then can you be a very good functional citizen. And that is why good prominent news must be put up, and news must also be put up and will be put up in terms of order of prominence as well. We will deal with how to order the significant facts, etc., in the coming few sessions. Next point is oddity. As the word says, it has the word odd in it. Let us see what it means. Unusual things are always attracting attention. This is a true fact for human psychology across the globe. Next, oddity refers to highlighting events or happenings which are out of the ordinary. What do you mean by out of the ordinary? Something that doesn't happen usually, something that may not be seen as, oh, this is possible, this can happen, or there is a possibility of this happening. When that thought is not there and something happens, then that accounts to oddity. Very honestly, this is what majority of organizations, news organizations and journalists are always looking out for. Not something very bizarre, but something out of the ordinary. That is what out of the ordinary means. It doesn't mean out of the box of ordinary. It means something that does not happen usually. For example, this is a very silly and common example, but just to make you understand, I have added this. A dog bites man is usual. It can be considered like, oh, a dog has bitten a man. That's fine. That is not something that I'm interested in. But if a man bites a dog, that is odd. That is always found to be odd. This is, again, it may not be a very realistic example, but you yourself know, in today's WhatsApp age, in today's social media age, you have seen tons of news like this. Very odd news. Someone gets married to something, some this, that, etc. There's so many kind of odd news, and this is, of course, you will also have experience that you tend to watch what that news is. You tend to, at least for entertainment purposes, you watch that news. But in the perspective of the news organization, they have caught your attention. So as journalists, this is one way of getting the attention of the audience, is by reporting something odd. It is not always, and we have to consider the fact that we have to stay away from inaccurate news. Just for the heck of it, we need not report odd news, false news, etc. But if something has really happened, and if you feel that it is odd, and if people will find it amusing, then you can, of course, account it for oddity. Odd news tends to be more interesting. Baseline, this is the fact. Odd news tends to be more interesting for anyone. So that is about oddity. The fifth point is conflict. What do you mean by conflict? The word is very, very self-explanatory. Let us look into what that means. Highlight the struggle in a story. Let us read through. The conflict must make a difference to society. There are so many protests happening. There are so many issues that have conflict within them. It may be between two parties, may be between two people, may be between the government and the people. There are so many stories that involve conflict, and the struggle within those stories is most important to be highlighted, because that is how people get to know that it takes a lot of effort to bring in change. Cannot be brought in easily, especially in a country. If you're talking about a nationwide change, it is very difficult to bring about change that way. So hence, what becomes important is the fact that the struggle has to be positive, the struggle has to be valid. The conflict must make a difference to society. When you are talking about struggle, when you're talking about conflict, it always is in terms of the society. How is it making a difference to the society? Is it invigorating the society, or is it putting in some positive? Is it for a positive outcome in the society, you must always think in those terms. Such stories are important as their outcomes affect lives and businesses. I hope you have understood this point, because whatever conflict happens in the country, that always affects the lives of at least of the general population in that area, and of course businesses. For example, there are a lot of protests, riots and parliamentary discussions that happen. Whenever these happens, there is always a chance of Bharat Bandh, state Bandh, etc., etc. When this happens, of course, your work is affected. If you don't work, your life is affected. So it is a big chain. It's a vicious cycle. So that is why it becomes very important for the news organization, for the journalists, to keep people informed of this conflict, of whatever conflicts are happening. What is the plus side? What is the minus side? What are all the sides? That needs to be informed to the public. Only then will they be able to make a wise choice. That is the only way people can make wise choice, because they fully depend on the media for truth. This is the main and most key factor. Hence, the struggle in any story has to be highlighted. And of course, there is a coverage of protests, riots and parliamentary discussions. Even if it is a very objective coverage, people are smart enough to get to know what is the consequence of it, what may be the consequence of it. So this is the whole idea of bringing in this term called conflict. Next is suspense. People love suspense films, that is there. But when it comes to news, a good story always leaves the reader curious. A good story. Why have I highlighted a good story? Because there may be a lot of stories in the paper, but this is what majority of the journalists aim for. They always want to keep the reader curious for what may happen next. Suspense generates anticipation of the story further. For example, there are a lot of crime and disappearances that happen. When something happens in terms of crime, if there is a murder that takes place, if there is a theft that takes place, you will be curious, why has this happened? Who has this done? Unless it is solved, if it is solved in the single report, then you will just read it and move forward. But one way to keep your audience hooked may be to generate curiosity. That skill of generating curiosity will come through your writing. Of course, there are a lot of other factors involved, but choosing of stories which may generate suspense and which may generate curiosity in the minds of people is one way of getting more readers and one way of keeping the audiences engaged with your news organization and your newspaper. It can help to create a string of stories. This is one major aspect. For example, if you go to report a simple or a relatively small crime like a theft, when you go on investigating further and further, who knows, you may get to know a lot of unknown facts about the thefts, and it may lead to a big revelation later. It may lead to a huge revelation later. That is, there are so many case studies in India wherein a small investigative report has led to a huge revelation. So that is what it may lead to, a string of stories. And that is how you can keep your audience engaged with your news stories, with your newspaper, with your news organization, because they will depend on you for credible news and to feed their curiosity. So that is how suspense is also a key element of news. Next, another key element is emotion. At the end of the day, people who are reading your newspaper are people. People's basic psychological state is to have certain emotions. It may be a stable emotion or it may be happy, sad, whatever. But when you are reading a newspaper, if that news story is something that touches you internally in your heart, it may be positively, negatively, that is what will stay with you for a long time. So, emotion drives the reader to absorb the news rather than read it indifferently. There is a big difference between absorbing the news and just reading it off. When you absorb news, you continue thinking about it. You may discuss about it with your friends, your peers, your family. And you yourself may have come across certain situations, definitely, wherein you have just come to know some news and then you may have discussed it. It may be a casual discussion, but you have discussed it with people. That is wherein you have absorbed that news. You have absorbed that news and you are thinking about it, and you're thinking about what can be and what is the consequence, why is this happening, what needs to be done. Those are all the things that you start thinking about. News value increases significantly when it holds an emotional value. Always, this is the most true fact for any news story. When there is an emotional value attached to the news, its value automatically increases. Though, for example, there may not be many facts, but if there is an emotional value attached to it, the news organization will always try to push it forward, because that is how people can become new audience to you, and that is how they latch on to you, because you have put in something that may matter to them. That is what they always look for, more than facts. People are always like that. So emotional value increases the news value, and it adds a human element to any story. It will not be something very mechanical. Journalism is never, it shouldn't be rather something mechanical. It should always be about what matters. It should always be about what matters to whom, to anyone. It is up to you as the journalist to decide what matters and what matters to you, first of all. And that can only happen when you have a human touch, a human element to your story, to the story that you're reporting. Of course, there will be stories in life wherein you will be just reporting facts, nothing much. But you will definitely come across stories wherein it requires a human angle, it requires a human element to be added for it to become interesting, and for majorly for it to be put forward in the way it is meant. Because the same story can be put forward in many different ways. It is up to you, being a good journalist, the right method you need to choose, the right angle you need to choose to put forward the story, and that is majoritively you can depend on the human angle. You need to add the human touch. For example, animal abuse stories, domestic violence stories, we have heard immensely. We see WhatsApp forwards, we see a lot on social media about animal abuse and domestic violence. These are issues that always disturb the reader, but they do have an emotion attached with it. When you get to know that such things are happening, you feel like you don't need to keep quiet, you shouldn't keep quiet. And that one emotion as a reader is what makes the journalist put forward these stories and bring to light these kind of incidences. But on the flip side, not just negative news, you can also focus on positive news, like saving of stray animals. This is just a small example. When you come across examples like this, where people are doing good work, where people are saving stray animals, you'll have seen so many WhatsApp forwards, so many social media posts, videos, wherein they have taken stray dogs, stray animals, and they have given them a new life. So these are the kind of emotional news reports wherein you have hope. It develops, it generates hope in you. And that is very, very essential. So as a journalist, you need not only focus on the bad, you also need to focus on what may instill hope in the society, because ultimately that is what matters. These are basically what you will be focusing on, but please do focus on the positives as well, because the media nowadays is being blamed for only showing negative news. And you, as the future journalist, have to try to focus on positive news as well. Please keep this in mind and engrave it, emboss it on your mind, that not just negative news, but there is also positive news that is available. You need to focus on those news stories as well. Next, the last point for today is consequence. Here, let us think of certain questions. We also need to think of questions. We need to question ourselves when we are writing a certain report. What can those be? Does the story have an impact on lives? Basically, very generally, does this story impact lives? Does this story impact some section of people who are going to read this? In what way may it impact them? Does it instigate discussion regarding pressing issues? When you talk about pressing issues, it means very hot topics, very, very important, crucial issues of that moment. Does it instigate discussion? As I mentioned earlier, if something instigates discussion, it is very, very important that it be of use. It is when people can absorb that news, people can, make a difference regarding that particular news item. Something may have happened as a singular event, but that can lead to a huge chain of events. So does it instigate discussion after the news has come out? Does it bring harm or benefit to the people? That is why I have put it in a single sentence. Does it bring harm or benefit? If it brings harm, it's a big no. You never have to report something that brings harm to the people. What do I mean by harm? Harm may be something that involves, like something very communal. It may be accounting to harm. It may also be to spread negative news. It may be to spread hate speech amongst people. This all accounts for bringing harm. But also on the flip side, when you talk about benefit, is it benefiting people? Is it allowing people to know that something good is happening, that some developments are happening, etc., etc.? Let us look at the examples. Developmental journalism. There is a branch of journalism purely meant for this. It's called developmental journalism, wherein journalists focus on developmental activities, wherein people are doing good for the society, are making new schemes, are making new organizations, are making new tasks. They're building things, they're doing a lot of stuff for the well-being of the society without an idea of profit in mind. So these are the kind of stories that developmental journalism focuses on. And of course, on the flip side, what may bring harm is discussion on religion, caste, gender, equality, justice. It may bring harm. How? Let us understand. Because if it is put in a negative shade, that these religions, these castes are, so and so, if you are directly attacking religion and caste in especially a country like India, it is going to be a very, very, very negative shade in the whole atmosphere of the country. But on the flip side, if you report that so and so, without any religious barriers, so and so people did certain things and not keeping religion in mind, these people have done these things, you feel that hope, you feel that secularism that India actually stands for. Our country needs to be put forward like that, and there are very good people in our country who leave all these kind of barriers aside. And when you talk about gender equality, these are again positive news that can be put out. There can be negative news also be put out, wherein people are shunned for not treating people equally in terms of gender. But then there can be positive news as well, wherein whichever gender it may be, even women empowerment or even the men, they have done something for the other gender, so and so. There may be any stories, but it all depends on how you shape it when you are writing. When you are writing, you are the master of that whole report. So you need to feel double responsible that what I am writing is going to make a huge impact in terms of opinion. As a journalist, you are not supposed to put up your opinion. You are supposed to be very objective. But what you write shapes the public opinion. That is why you need to be very careful about what you write and how you present it. Right from your headline onwards, whatever you present is very, very crucial. Then again, in terms of justice, there are so many things that happen wherein the media itself will proclaim this is right or wrong. Sometimes that may lead to a discussion that may go either ways. You will see on debates, on forums, a lot of people saying this is right, saying this portion is right, this party is right. But at the end of the day, the journalist's job is to present facts as they are and leave it to the public to form their own opinions or to form their own side. But again, when it comes to justice, you will have heard of a lot of debates every day night in terms of whether this was a good decision or no. And when talking about justice, we need to mention one term very importantly, that is media trial. When you're talking about media trial, the word itself says the media itself conducts a trial. Very honestly, these are not very ethical in nature, but This is what entertains people. This is what is close to people. This is what is most prominent to people about what certain experts think about it. Justice in India is supposed to be served by the court itself, but the fact of the matter is that media trials do happen. But the only way we can, as future journalists, influence good change is by putting forward very fair debates. That is what needs to happen in terms of any issue. That is why the consequence of every discussion that we have on TV, on newspaper, wherever, even in terms of our peers, that matters a lot. And that consequence is instilled by the news report. It all boils down to a single news report. And you never know, even if it is just a small report, you never know how it may affect which person, where, etc., etc. So when your writing has such power, you need to have that kind of responsibility in terms of reporting. And always think of the consequence of what you are writing. So I hope today's session has made a huge difference in terms of your understanding of journalism. I will be seeing you in the next session with another interesting topic. This is Zubin sir signing off from Vidyashram. Thank you so much. Have a good day.